At the European Democratic Party's Russians Go Home conference in Budapest, we interviewed Péter Márki-Zay, the former leader of the unified opposition in Hungary. We spoke about who is likely to win the upcoming election, why Russian influence remains so significant, what is the future of Viktor Orbán, and whether Hungary can return to Europe on Forum Europaeum.
We are here with Mr. Péter Márki-Zay, mayor of Hódmezővásárhely and the former leader of the opposition. And my first question would be the following. What was the purpose of today's event called Russians Go Home? What message did you want to deliver?
It's very interesting that when we started organizing this conference, we didn't even think that there would be proof coming out to the clear betrayal of Hungarian national interest by our own government. Now, in the last few days, we are just learning how much they betrayed Hungary, how much they were serving Russian interest, opposed to Hungarian interest, in order to destroy the European Union, in order to support the war in Ukraine. So this betrayal is beyond our former imagination. When we started organizing this event, this conference, we just wanted to emphasize that Hungary, if we want to be free and sovereign, then we have to get rid of Russian influence, but we never had an idea how deep this influence was. In order to make Hungary not only freer, but richer, healthier, happier, we have to get rid of the Eastern influence, we have to join the West. Only the West, only Western culture, European culture, then can give a solution for the problems of Hungary, can make us, like I said, richer and happier. Az elmúlt hetekben, amit mi nem tudhattunk akkor, amikor ezt a konferenciát kezdeményeztük, kiderült, hogy ahogy a 2000-es években a Gyurcsány kormány esetén bizonyítottan nem csak egy orosz kémbank működhetett az Európai Unió ellen Magyarországon, nem csak letelepedési kötvényes migránsok között voltak orosz bűnözők és ügynökök, nem csak, hogy beengedtek orosz titkosszolgálati embereket, a magyar minisztériumban is erről Szijjártó tudott, mert dokumentum és bizonyíték van rá, hogy ők tudatosan nem léptek fel a magyar minisztériumokban működő orosz kémek ellen, hanem az Európai Bizottság üléseiről, bizalmas megbeszélésekről, azoknak a szüneteiben folyamatosan jelentettek Lavrovnak, jelentett Szijjártó Lavrovnak.
What do you think? What's the reason behind the fact that Hungary is so influenced by Russia?
As we also heard from one of our speakers, Stefano Bottoni, who's a historian, Hungary has often played a playground for different ideologies and new political solutions. It was a testbed, it was a laboratory for new ideas, sometimes very bad and very dangerous ideas. So at least 6 times we already had different autocratic regimes and dictatorships, which is already too much in a 100-year history of a small country like Hungary. This time, we have been also in the forefront of populist dictatorships, so-called illiberal democracies. So the failure of Orbán, which is clearly proven by now, this Orbán-style right-wing populism, but also serving Russian interests and working on behalf of Putin to destroy Europe, this has led Hungary into a deep economic and societal crisis. This is something that all the world has to learn, because now there are more and more populist dictators or wannabe dictators like Orbán, AfD in Germany, Vox in Spain, Salvini in Italy, and Le Pen in France, but also those guys behind Brexit, Nigel Farage and the likes, but even Donald Trump and their Republicans, this CPAC-style American so-called conservatives, they are all want to follow the footsteps of Orbán, and we already know where this path goes. It goes to poverty. It goes to a lack of rule of law and lack of democracy, dictatorship. We don't want that. They don't want that. Everybody wants to be happy, wants to be rich, wants to be free. We have to get rid of that kind of stupid Russian-influenced populism, which has led to Hungary's demise and which is clearly will be leading to the demise of all the democracies if they follow our footsteps.
Many of these figures you mentioned were here at the CPAC conference last week, as far as I remember. And the Hungarian pro-government media said that all eyes were on Hungary. But the truth is that all eyes will be on Hungary during and after the election. And connected to that, what do you think, what will happen after the election? Will the opposition right now, the TISA party, will they win? And besides that, what will happen if Orbán won't be able to win?
Well, if Orbán continues, then Fidesz politicians can not only steal public property, not only bankrupt free enterprises and acquire these assets, their assets, which they have been doing. Fidesz politicians can rape young underage boys. They won't go to prison. Also, they can influence churches. The independence of religion is already stopped. All the different big churches in Hungary under direct governmental influence. Also, they are freeing people smugglers. They are organizing illegal migration by letting in tens of thousands of illegal migrants, contrary to what they are lying about. Also, they are organizing the migrant labor. Hundreds of thousands of Asian migrant workers come to Hungary. They are poisoning Hungarian land, air, and water. They are poisoning Hungarian workers in these acidic battery factories, which are by the dozens created in Hungary, contrary to the people's will, all to make the corrupt politicians richer. They are serving Russian interests, like I said, in destroying Europe and working on destroying Europe. They are supporting war in Ukraine. They are supporting war in Iran. They are supporting war in Chad, in Africa, and sending Hungarian troops to a foreign war on behalf of Putin. So all these kinds of bad things will just continue, and this will even make this problem even bigger than before. What we hope will happen, of course, is that contrary to all the very elaborate system of political influence, political propaganda, brainwashing, lies, and post-facts, post-truths political campaign, which Orbán is conducting. Orbán's main opponent in this Hungarian election is Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. So this is really sick what they are doing. It's just stupid. And by this brainwashing power, they are really following the footsteps of Hitler, who killed millions of people, millions of Jews, millions of women and children, just by influencing and brainwashing the population. So this is a huge danger. It's an imminent and real danger. It's not a theoretical threat, it's a real threat. So, what we hope that we can prove again, that the only way to a richer, happier, healthier Hungary, to a richer, happier society in the West, in America, in Western Europe, is to get rid of these populist, Russian-influenced, corrupt politicians, dictator wannabes, and free the people. Let's restore democracy. Let's give real choice to people. It must be a conscious choice. If you're brainwashed, then you cannot just make the right decisions. If you really believe that the second day after the election, if not Orbán is winning, bombs will fall on Hungary, and then Ukraine, who is fighting for their lives, will attack Hungary and run over Hungary, which Fidesz media says, then you're stupid and you cannot be saved. What we need is a clever, happy, real Christian. Christians don't kill babies. Let's face that. Christian people don't steal other people's property. Christian people don't lie. They don't instigate hatred. So all this is anti-Christian, anti-nationalist, anti-normalcy. Normalcy is what we need, and that's what we want to restore at and after the April 12th election.
So Hungary can return to Europe.
Hungary must return to Europe and get rid of Russian influence. Russians go home. Az elmúlt 70 évben a garancia a világ békéjére az Európai Unió. Az Európa békéjére mindenképpen garancia az Európai Unió békeprojektje, az egyetlen valóban békepárti projekt. Nekünk ki kell tartanunk a béke, a szabadságunk, a jólétünk érdekében az Európai Unió egyben tartása mellett, a világ valóban meglévő kihívásaira, a globális gazdasági válságra, az európai versenyképesség gyengülésére a megoldás nem kevesebb, hanem több Európa. Ezt a több Európát képviselik a most meghallgatandó szakmai előadóink, de ezt a több Európát, erősebb, ellenállóbb Európát, több szabadságot, több jólétet képviselő az Európai Demokrata Párt. Nagyon szépen köszönöm, hogy ezt a konferenciát megszervezhettük együtt. Az Európai Demokrata Pártnak végtelen hálámat fejezem ki, hogy befogadták a Mindenki Magyarország a Néppártot, és együtt fogunk küzdeni Magyarországért és Európáért.